For decades, fans believed Beastman was nothing more than Skeletor's most loyal servant. They were completely wrong. If you grew up watching He-Man in the 80s or 90s, Beastman is unforgettable. That massive orange beast was always at Skeletor's side, obeying every command without question. But the pages of Icons of Evil reveal a completely different origin and explain how Beastman ended up kneeling before the man who would become Skeletor. This is where the story begins. Before he became Skeletor, he was Keldor, a warlord with colossal ambitions, crossing Eternia in search of allies savage enough to help him bend the world to his will. Keldor was in an isolated temple when he first heard the name. Standing before a shaman who read the future in still water, he looked into the vision pool and saw an image, a village burning on the Berserker Islands, creatures running in panic through the streets, and at the center of the chaos, a massive silhouette, claws and orange fur, tearing through everything in its path. No apparent purpose, no fixed target, just pure destruction. The shaman wasn't warning Keldor about a danger. He was showing him the perfect servant. Pay close attention, because this is where it gets complicated. The shaman was clear about the price of his help, payment up front and a warning. Crossing paths with a creature as ferocious as the one Keldor sought didn't always end in triumph. More often, quite the opposite. But the shaman offered more than directions. Keldor's mere presence among his talismans had already boosted his powers for a matter of days. A power he would need on the road ahead. Keldor traveled west through days of rain, and in a forgotten village deep in the forest, he found his first true sign. A cat woman invited him into her home. Keldor accepted, never imagining he was about to collide. For real, a massive gray wolf burst out of the hut, claiming the woman as if she were his property. Keldor tried to talk his way out with magic, asking to be spared, claiming he had more important business to attend to. The wolf didn't accept refusal. The fight was short and brutal, and it wasn't Keldor who ended it. A devastating shadow tore through the fight before he could. When the dust settled, it was the orange creature standing over the wolf's broken body. Keldor didn't hide what he was thinking. He said, "My, you are a vicious creature, aren't you? I have no doubt I could have eventually bested him on my own, but you saved me the trouble. And here is what almost no one knows." Keldor made him an offer on the spot, told him he was perfect, that he'd be of great use in his future conquests, a prized addition to his army, just a simple matter of learning how to control him. The answer wasn't what Keldor expected. The creature turned to face him. "I'll taste your flesh instead." That wasn't a threat. That was the start of a second fight, this time between the two of them. The creature struck first, a roar that shook the forest. Keldor answered with magic, a blast of purple energy, warning that if this was how it had to be, so be it. The blast landed mid-air, but the creature recovered fast enough to grab Keldor by the foot and hurl him aside like he weighed nothing, telling him he was underestimating him. The fight kept swinging back and forth. At one critical moment, Keldor struck the creature with magic, straight in the eyes, blinding him, warning he'd wish he'd never come here. But the beast, even wounded, kept coming, kept swinging. A string of blows sent Keldor crashing through the mud until he hit the ground, beaten, physically beaten. That's when Keldor reached for the one thing more dangerous than strength, not his fists, his staff. A single blast of energy through that ram skull staff dropped the creature for good, and for the first time, Keldor said the name out loud. That was Beastman. But before Keldor could finish declaring his victory, Beastman surged back up, roaring that no one could defeat Beastman. The fight turned brutal again, hand to hand, until arrows started tearing into him. He didn't retreat. He charged straight at the archers, bleeding, pierced, until he finally went down. Native soldiers closed in around them both. One of them warned the others to be careful. The king hated bruised meat. Keldor and Beastman, still unconscious, were carried together, bound through the forest, toward a massive city built among stone pyramids. Keldor woke up first, in a dark cell. In that moment, Beastman had no idea he was about to make the choice that would define the rest of his life. "Look what you've done," Beastman said, chained beside him. "Now, we both die." There was a third creature in that cell, a smaller, wolf-like prisoner who clearly knew this place too well. Keldor demanded to know where they were. The answer came cold. They were in the kingdom of Trinok, ruler of all the Berserker Islands. And tonight, they were to be the feast at his grand festival. Keldor didn't hide the shock, but he recovered fast, and he turned to Beastman with a direct question. "What of it, Beastman? Is this a fate you wish for yourself?" Beastman answered with contempt, "Why did Keldor even care? He should be happy that he'd die too." Maybe, if he was lucky, they'd cook him first. This is the tragedy hiding behind that sentence, because that's exactly when Skeletor revealed his real intention. He said his goal had never been to kill him, it was to recruit him. And now, with no other option, Beastman would serve him, one way or another. Together, they could escape this. Alone, Beastman would die. The choice is yours, Beastman, life or death. The guards came for them, and it was Skeletor who tore the cell bars apart with his bare hands, opening the way out. Beastman followed, tearing through what was left of the cell himself, shouting that they had to move before the guards realized they'd escaped. But the way out didn't lead to freedom. It led straight into a fighting arena. On the other side, King Trinoc himself, a towering, gold-draped ruler, gave the order. Kill them. A dozen armed warriors poured in. There was nothing left to discuss. Now what? Beastman asked. We kill them, Skeletor answered. The battle that followed was savage. Skeletor tearing through soldiers with magic. Beastman ripping warriors off the ground and throwing them through the air. And in the middle of that chaos, it was Skeletor's magic, boosted by the shaman's talisman that struck King Trinoc himself, killing him in front of his own court. The two of them fled the wrecked arena before the survivors could regroup. But the war wasn't over. A surviving general, a warrior in feathers and leopard armor, rallied what was left of the troops and made a public promise. Whoever brought him the heads of Beastman and the stranger at his side, the slayers of King Trinoc, would receive untold riches and a hero's ceremony. Once they were clear of the kingdom, safe in the forest, it was Skeletor who closed that chapter. He told Beastman he had chosen wisely. With his king dead and his own people hunting him now, this could no longer be his home. There was nowhere left to turn. You will serve me, Beastman, or you will die. Beastman looked at him, at the forest around them, at the kingdom now hunting him from behind, and there was no open door left anywhere, so he knelt. 2 words, split across 2 breaths. Lead on, my master. That wasn't devotion. That wasn't admiration. That was the choice of someone who had been beaten, for real, in combat, with magic, with force, and who, on top of that, looked around and found not a single door left open. This is the tragedy of Beastman. On the surface, the cartoon. Underneath, a story about what happens when you're defeated by someone more dangerous than you ever imagined, and then find out that same someone is the only home you have left. And that changes everything about how you watch the show. Because every time you saw Beastman obey Skeletor without question, every time you saw that massive creature shrink in front of someone who looked, physically, like his own shadow, you weren't watching a weak servant. You were watching the result of a real defeat, followed by a choice that was never really a choice. If this video made you see a character you thought you already knew through completely different eyes, share it with someone who grew up watching He-Man. And if you want to know the dark origin of another classic villain the TV never showed you, subscribe to the channel, because the next video is about a character who seemed simple but carried a deeply disturbing past. Until then,